Alright, I guess we're doing this. I am Live the Truth, and today I'm going to be reacting to the One Piece manga chapter 1136. Last chapter 1135 I actually ended up not posting because I've been in the middle of moving. It was also in the middle of Christmas and New Year's and a bunch of things going on. I'm actually in a whole different location and everything. So I didn't react to the chapter, but I did read the chapter. And as a quick recap, not too much happened until the very end. Of course, Nika, Robin, Chopper, and Bonnie apparently were in the library seeing the giant books, and they found out that the owl that was in there has some sort of gigantification devil fruit, whereas when books come near it they just get bigger. Since Elbaf is no longer part of the world government, they don't get news coups, so whenever they do get a newspaper, they bring it in here so it can get gigantified so they can actually read the news, and that's kind of how they have the books set up. But it doesn't work backwards, so big books don't get small or anything like that. It just make books bigger when they're in a certain vicinity. But while Nico, Robin, and them were looking into that, Usopp and Luffy were playing with the giant kids that were on the island. They're not really warriors anymore, but they didn't stop Luffy and Usopp from still having fun with them, taking it a bit far to the point where Nami had to beat them up and tell them to calm down. But one of the kids was a actual kind of warrior. He was the son of one of the actual warriors, the former warrior pirates, the lady that we saw couple of chapters ago, and he attacked Luffy. Luffy blocks it, and they end up going back and forth, and he accepts Luffy as an emperor. He says he really is an emperor, and turns out that's the same kid that Shanks was with before he left the island that was trying to join Shanks' crew. At the same time, speaking of Shanks, the Shanks look-alike and another person ends up intruding into the island, and they meet some giants and ask the giants to take them to Loki. Of course, Loki's a horrible person to them, so they're not going to take them to Loki, but then they start hurting them and try to force them to tell them. At the same time, Luffy ends up running back into Robin and them, but Robin says she's going to stay with them, with Saul, and catch up some more. So the crew decides to split off. The crew members that did not have an Elbaf fit, they got their fit and they went off to do their own thing. I think Frankie went to go look at the Elbaf tree because the Sunny is made from the same kind of wood, so I assume he's going to get some more of that, while Luffy and I guess a couple more went to do the feast that they put off doing so that Nika Robin can have her reunion. And that's kind of where we left off. The feast was going on at the same time the intruders were breaking in. So I'm really interested to see where we go from here. So without further ado, One Piece chapter 1136. Let's get into it. Okay, One Piece chapter 1136, the country that awaits the sun. Only child of Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage, a mysterious hidden base in Udon. Oh yeah, the previous cover story was it Otama drop kicking one of the wardens that apparently stole the sword from Yamato when she was sleeping, and it was the warden with a lion on the front of it that Luffy ended up punching back in Udon. And I guess there's some sort of mysterious base that he had the sword hidden in that we're going to have to go into and recover. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's see. It's so tasty. Even the meat is huge. Pause. The moose reminds me of dinosaur meat. Oh yeah, they did hunt some sort of ferocious beast down in that snowy, treacherous area in order to bring its food back to Luffy and them. They're quite the catch. They're quite tricky to catch. As ferocious as they are delicious. No task is too great if it's for our saviors. I appreciate Harujin Stanson. Glad you like it. Yeah, the Giants are all for, well, at least Harujin and them are all for the Strawhats. They're all on board. It's rare for humans to make it all the way to the Sun Realm. Most confuse the underworld for Elbaf proper and flee before they find their way up here. Okay, so the spot where Luffy was talking to Loki for the snow and those beasts is where most people end up when they go to Elbaf, and with a bunch of giant animal monsters and some treacherous cold weather. Ain't no one staying on that island long, so they just immediately peel. Listen up. The mighty Oars was a warrior legendary even to you giants. He tower over any of you 3 times over, and guess who finally finished him? That's right, it was me, Captain Usopp. Oh my goodness, is he talking about how back in Thriller Bark they took out Oars when he had Luffy's shadow in him, and he's taking the full credit. I'm weak. Way to go, Captain Usopp. Wow, your skin really is blue. Okay, so they're peeping Jinbei, who's a fisherman. You should see Fishman Island. There's as many skin tones there as there are fish in the sea. I've always wanted to see a mermaid. No shame in that. They're a sight to behold. Mermaid Cove is more enticing than heaven itself. Of course, Sandy about died when he went there, so he knows what he's saying. My heart soars just as much as when I see you giant ladies. Aw, Sandy, you so silly and cute. Beauties everywhere I look. I'm getting buried in babes. Well, at least he's getting what he wants out of this. And what are you? Who am I? Says Brooke. I can answer with my own blues. My what the heck am I, Diddy? Yeah, so he's about to play a song to try to explain he's a singing, walking skeleton. I guess it's a big, wild world out there. Let's toast to it. I'm surprised so many giants have never gone out to sea. Yeah, I kind of assumed they were all pirates. God! Nami-san, I want to apologize to you and this under Straw Hat bout before. Okay, so Rodo, the giant that ended up capturing them, putting them in the little miniature town that he had put together. Now he's apologizing after he looked like he got beat up. He ain't gonna be forgiven that easily. But beating a proper apology out of him was the least we can do. The other giants beating him up to force him to apologize. Jerry's sadistic side really makes my heart flutter. Don't sweat it. It's not like anyone died, says Zoro. Although, that's only because Usopp stopped me. If he didn't, it would have been your head. He said, ain't no one died. Could have been you, though. Just keep that in mind. I'm weak. And he laughing. Rodo, don't tell me you picked a fight without checking their bounties first. You never stood a chance, man. Don't hold back next time. She's giving him the okay to chop his head off. Oh my goodness, she's so harsh, but I can't get enough of her. Come on, everyone. Oh, okay. Come on, everyone born here on Elbaf shares the same dream. To become the next sun god and rule the world. Sun god? Okay, Zoro's peeping that. Are you kidding me? The sun god isn't a ruler. Oh, are you kidding me? The sun god isn't a ruler. That's right, he's the god of liberation. More like destruction. You're wrong. Everyone knows he was the god of laughter. So are they all fighting after what the sun god was the god of? But I guess he was what? Back in the Void Century, so I guess not even the Giants have too much detail on him. It's getting rowdy. What's going on about over there? So Luffy's actually peeping in how they mentioned the sun god, which he is. The sacred Harley texts have been passed down for generations in Elbaf. The legends are written in an archaic language, so there have been countless interpretations. No one can say for sure which translation is accurate, and this is the result. According to the Harley text, the world has already been destroyed twice, and the name of Sun God Nika is invoked after each instance. Nika? Wait, okay. So he said the world has been destroyed twice. I'm assuming they mean by like, I don't know, whatever took out the ancient kingdom. That had to be at least one of the times when the ancient kingdom was taken out. I don't know if there's any other time around it, but that's the only thing I can assume, and which is probably about to happen again now that the Vegapunk said the world's about to get submerged under the ocean. Who can say if he was the world's savior or the great destroyer who brought it crashing down? All we know for sure is that he held great change. That's why the rulers of the day always tend to fear Nika's return. So they don't know if he's good or bad. They just know whenever he shows up, things are going down. Things are changing, and that's why some people are actually scared of him. Nika, that's the guy Bonnie mentioned. Yes, the sun god has become a symbol, someone the hopeless and desperate can turn to for salvation. They say Nika is adorned by white clouds with white hair and white clothes to boot, and he is said to have a contagious, booming laugh. No wonder everyone keeps saying I look similar, but I'm sure he's got nothing to do with me. Luffy being the oblivious person he is. Don't be so dismissive, Straw Hat. You'd understand if you were born on Elbaf. We all look up to Nika, not to defend Rodo, but he wasn't lying about all of us sharing the same dream. Loki was the same. I believe his motive of Harrow's murder was his attempt to follow in Nika's footsteps. Nothing can justify what he did, though. Loki. So he's a good guy? No, he is not. They're like, no, he is not. Well, Luffy tends to make his own impressions of people, which is why he acts that. He's the accursed prince. There was a prophecy before he was born that foretold the king, Harold, would be slain by his own son. Then shortly after his birth, the royal steed, the horse of the future, died. Okay, that's a coincidence. The inland murdered legendary hero Jorlo, and tragedies kept coming. A year later, the queen herself passed. Dang, lost the husband and the wife back to back. Crazy. The princeling would go on to use his natural strength to make the realm of the dead his own personal playground. He killed many of those ferocious beasts and tamed the rest. He even released a few into the village. And that was all by the age of 10. My goodness. Yeah, giants do live a long life, so short span to them would be a few decades, but 10? That's still crazy. I mean, granted, I guess those kids are like 5, 10 years old, the kids that we see so far, and they're pretty big. So he still was pretty big, but still. He was an arsonist. Loki's mischief endangered countless lives. He had the authority of a prince and a malicious personality. He caused hell whenever the king wasn't looking. And then finally, in that very castle, Loki killed King Harold, the greatest monarch Elbaf ever knew. A splendid wise man who tried to connect with the outside world, to get people to see beyond Elbaf's feared reputation as a land of warriors. Lord Gerald was stabbed trying to stop Loki. My helmet saved me in the end. It didn't save anything. Well, okay, wait. Oh my goodness. So he was with the king trying to stop him from killing the king. The sword went straight through him. I don't know if he used two swords, if he stabbed him with one and then stabbed the king with the other, or if he stabbed straight through him and killed the king and he just kept the sword in his head. Both make sense for One Piece, so either one is possible. Loki's reign of terror finally came to an end 6 years ago. He was running amok at the sea when red-haired captured him. Shanks? Shanks really came here? Yeah. In fact, he was just here earlier. I'm not sure where he went though. Zoro's pipping all that though. You know Zoro ain't gonna let none slide. Village outskirts. I thought you were acting weird. Okay, I thought you were acting weirdly on the edge earlier. That explains it. You realize he's a reviled Kingslayer, right? Everything he told you is just obviously a lie. He said he knew where Shanks was. Do you have any idea how badly I want to see him? Okay, so it seems like Loki told Luffy that he would tell him where Shanks is if Luffy helped, I guess, set him free. And Zoro's like, you know he's a lying, conniving Kingslayer, right? You can't trust the words out of his mouth. But Luffy's going to trust anyone if he feels like he can get what he wants. And what he wants to do is see Shanks. Yes, I've heard about it 1,000 times. Sounds to me like he was using that to trick you. How would you know? You never met Loki yourself. I haven't. I'm just guessing based on his reputation. I'll tell you everything I know. That includes where red hair's carrying red about. Yeah, that's exactly what he said to Luffy. If that was really a lie, I'll send him flying myself. Now he'd beat him up if he's lying. If you're sneaking enough to do what I think you are, did you seriously expect to find your way without me? Okay, so Nami could ride along with him, I guess, to navigate, to help redirect them, and probably keep them on a proper track so they ain't just running around doing whatever. Listen up, Luffy. We'll get the key, but if he pulls anything funny, we'll have to take care of him. Got it. Thanks. But why is this guy here? He's my new slave. I'm truly wait. Nami took Rodo as a slave. Probably like the form of apology after what he did to them. Don't forget, I'm her #1 slave, and Sanji's #2. That's Zeus. Zeus is trying to establish the hierarchy. Hey, you may be a slave too, but I'm the #1 slave. Sanji's #2. You can be #3. Keep the hierarchy in place. I'm weak. Dip for food. Strong girls really get my blood pumping. He's even been struck by lightning earlier. I guess I guess he's a masochist. Okay, fair enough. Nami, isn't it neat how we're both navigators? Don't ever try to get close to me again. Yes, ma'am. I'm putting him in place, Nami. He was a freak. It feels wrong for the guests to honor. It feels wrong for the guests to honor the bell so early. Don't worry. I brought some meat with me. Have you tried some of this moose? They're all in a drunken support now. They probably can't remember why they're even celebrating. They'll just keep going with it. Just keep partying until the sun's down, and then back up again. Say, if all the treasure in the castle suddenly disappeared, would that be a problem, Roto? My vision is awful, so I'm sure I wouldn't even notice. You had this in mind since the beginning, didn't you, Nami? Huh? What are those in your eyes? Nami got dollar signs. You just answered the wrong question, boy. Dagahaha. So, that's what this is. Realm of the Dead. Ooh, okay, so we're back. I'm assuming with Loki. If I understood you correctly, then I'm afraid I'll have to step back and refuse your offer. I'm sure it's an honor to be invited to join your noble knights, but that would make you celestial dragons, right? Did you really expect anyone on the planet to willingly become scum like you? They came here to recruit Loki as a holy knight. Oh my goodness. Oh. Loki as a whole knight would be problematic. I don't even know how strong he is, but they estimate his bounty's $1 billion or $2 billion, so he's definitely going to be a problematic holy knight. Do we have any intel? All the informants we sent to Elbaf reported a giant crow heading for them before their connections got cut off. That's their weakness. Oh, their weakness is beyond belief. Okay, so they had spies trying to send them information. I guess the spies kept getting cut off by Roto's bird, the same bird that ended up picking up the Strawhats earlier. I'm done just standing by and listening. This is the definition of importance. This is a definition of impertinence. It's a weird way of saying it. God Knight Gunko. Is she moving like... I can't tell if there's a rubber band. Not rubber band. If there's if that's like paper... It has an arrow on it, so... I can't tell if it's like part of her body. Is she a devil fruit user? I'm so confused. I won't let it stand. Hey, don't be too hasty, Gunko. And then, okay, so the beast showed up the moment she was getting ready to attack. Eat him up, wolf. Hey, stay back if you want to keep breathing. And then she ties up, she ties up the thing. So it is an arrow. Very similar to, I guess, Medusa from Soul Eater. Or that the demons from Demon Slayer that had the arrows, I think season 2 or so. Huh? Hey, wolf. And oh my goodness, yeah, straight up strung him up by the neck. Oh, that looks horrendous. Oh my goodness, wolf. If we were to spare him, would you change your mind then? Oh, they're really trying to get Loki. So that's how you operate, huh? Well, if that was your offer, I'd accept my friend's fate and wish him peace in death. It's okay to grieve and rage, but warriors never kick and scream in the face of death. So he said, yeah, kill the wolf. I'm gonna be sad and mad about it, but I ain't gonna join you. I'll swallow all my fury and use it to fuel me when I reduce this world to rubble. A proud proclamation. One Piece chapter 1136 end, and we end on that. Loki telling the Shanks lookalike and the other intruder, Donko, apparently we got their name, the Holy Knights, that one, he's not joining y'all because y'all are celestial scum, and no respectable person on the planet will join the celestial scum. And since y'all want to operate by just gambling people's lives, go ahead, kill him, because I'm not going to join you. Well, kill my wolf, because I'm not going to join you. And I'm going to take all this fury and rage and level the whole earth. Level everything once I get the chance. Man is ready to lay siege to any and everything. He don't get no cares. No cares in the world. I don't know how they're going to try. It seems like they're really trying to force him to join them. They even had like people trying to send them intel, which they didn't get any intel, but they're trying to force him to join the Holy Knights. I'm assuming to replace Garland after he just became a one of the 5 Gorosei members, one of the Gorosei. And now that that has happened, there's a vacancy in the Holy Knights, which they're trying to replace it with Loki. And just assuming that that Shanks lookalike isn't a clone, there's a good chance that he may be like a brother of Shanks, or a second, or some sort of cousin or connection to Shanks, which then leads me to believe that he is Figure Langarna's son. So I'm assuming all them ties are going to tie together. Luffy and them are on their way to try to get the keys to rescue Loki. So if Loki can stall out these guys long enough, they'll run into Luffy and them. And I had no idea how Luffy would act looking at a Shanks lookalike that's obviously not Shanks and part of the Holy Knights coming for them. It's going to be straight mayhem in the next couple of chapters. I can't wait. I enjoyed the heck out of this one, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. I've been Live the Truth, and I'm out of here.